Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 28 of your favorite sports show out, Highly Opinionated. I'm your co-host, Josh. Best co-host in the game. What's up, John?
What's going on?
Everything good with you?
Everything's great. Can't complain. How are you?
I'm good, man. We'll introduce him in a second, but the best producer in the game, man. You finally big time, bro. We finally got you in that intro, man. It's about time. About time. Ross, what's going on, brother? Look, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, the best producer, the best editor, the best Mr. Everything to Highly Opinionated. What's going on, Ross?
Ain't nothing, man. How you feeling, Josh?
I'm good, bro. I can't complain. Just taking it one day at a time. Everything good with you?
Yeah, no, it's the same thing. I know we all say it, but I definitely can't complain at all.
Good.
Definitely no complaints. I'm definitely ready to get this show started. A lot of stuff happened this weekend with sports, so definitely ready to get into all of it.
Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for tuning in to last week's show. We appreciate you for watching this week's show. Again, we appreciate all the love and support. Instagram likes, YouTube subscription, comments, TikTok, etc. Like, we appreciate all that. Again, we aim to be the best sports show you guys consume. So striving to be the best each and every week. So we appreciate you guys for your support. And again, disagree or you want to come on the show or etc. Just comment, like, subscribe, send messages, and we will definitely find a way to get you on the show. Speaking of that, Ross, let them know about our socials and where they can find us at.
Yes, sir. Y'all can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Highly Opinionated __, and you can follow us on X at Highly O_SS. And then y'all already on YouTube. So like Josh said, go ahead, like, subscribe, leave a comment. We definitely comment back. We like all the engagement.
Absolutely. John, my brother, you ready to get episode 28 started?
Let's get to it, my brother.
Let's get to it, bro. Let's start off with NFL news and notes. Busy year during the NFL offseason. Basically the end of a season going into a new league year. New league season. New league year that starts in March, next week, actually. First story, Darius Slay was released by the Philadelphia Eagles. There is a chance that Darius Slay could return back to the Philadelphia Eagles on a lesser deal. Your thoughts on Darius Slay and what teams other than the Eagles do you think should be interested in him?
Yeah, honestly, when I first saw this news, it wasn't too surprising to me because the Philadelphia Eagles, really every team in the NFL has to deal with it at some point. You got a player that's got a high salary that's going against the cap. You have some players that are going to be like, cap casualties as they call it. So this wasn't too much of a surprise. Darius Slay, an older player, again, wouldn't shock me at all if the Philadelphia Eagles re-signed him to a lesser veteran minimum deal. But don't be shocked either if some other contending teams may have their eye on Darius Slay and monitoring that situation. I look at the Baltimore Ravens. I look at the Washington Commanders. I look at teams like that, Pittsburgh Steelers. You never know. There are teams that are out there that want to improve in that secondary, and Darius Slay can definitely provide that. At the very least, he can provide depth, even if he's not like a big time cornerback number one like he's been phenomenal his entire career. He may not be exactly that prime Darius Slay that we've gotten used to knowing, but he's still a very good cornerback that can definitely help some contending teams in the NFL. And I'm sure the Philadelphia Eagles would love to have him back as well with that young secondary that they have. Talented, but still a young secondary.
Absolutely, I agree. Darius Slay, big play Slay. If he doesn't go back to the Eagles, which again I said there's a chance, I definitely think contending teams like you said, Baltimore, Washington. I would add San Francisco into that mix. They'll probably lose Ward to free agency, and I would add the Detroit Lions to that mix. Detroit needs a corner. Carlton Davis is a free agent for the Lions. So obviously he's going to a contending team. He's played on the Eagles these past few seasons, a contending team. They just won the Super Bowl. But I think Darius Slay, like you said, he might not be what he used to be, but he still can play. He still can ball. He still can take certain receivers out of the game without help. So that's a big. He might not be a full number one corner, but he's in between a number one and number two corner. Where
interesting. You got him going back to the Lions where he started his career, but that'd be an interesting pick too.
Yeah, absolutely. Their defense was their Achilles heel last year. I know Jared Goff had the interceptions in the playoffs, but their defense was their Achilles heel. They had to outscore everybody. So if they can get another pass rusher, maybe Slay come back to the Lions, that can make them better. But again, for me, I just think that Darius Slay, we both agree that he's going to a contender. He's not going to the Carolina Panthers he's not going to a rebuild. He's going to a contender.
Absolutely.
Either re-sign less with the Eagles or to another team. So we'll see how that goes. Next NFL story, Deebo Samuel was traded from the San Francisco 49ers to the Washington Commanders for a 5th-round draft pick. I'll start us off. I love the deal for Washington. You get a all-around football player. He can play running back, wide receiver. You can get throwing slip screens. You can throw, he can block. You can not only do slip screens, he can actually do screens, run routes down the field. I love this move for Washington to give up a 5th-round draft pick. You could strike gold in the 5th round, but I don't think as of now, I'd rather have Deebo than a 5th-round unknown. I'd rather have a known than an unknown. I think this was a great move for Washington. They want to get better. They lost in the NFC Championship game, and this is a shot at the Philadelphia Eagles, saying, okay, you guys won the Super Bowl. We're going to improve our team. We'll see you guys next year. So I love the move for Washington. San Francisco saw the writing on the wall. They drafted Ricky Pearsall last year in the 1st round. They gave Brandon Ayuk a 4-year deal. So kind of saw the writing on the wall for Deebo. Still have to pay. Still have to renegotiate George Kittle. Still have to pay quarterback Brock Purdy. So you saw Brock Purdy. I'm sorry. So you saw the writing on the wall with Deebo leaving the San Francisco 49ers. Nice move for Washington.
Yeah, for me, this is an absolute steal for Washington. I mean, you're getting Deebo Samuel for a 5th-round pick. That's kind of insane when you think about it. But I had to take a step back and look at the full picture of this. Somebody has said something on social media. This is like Paul George going to the 76ers. Paul George
I saw the same
thing. And I was like, well, that's ridiculous. But then again, I sat back and thought about it. Deebo Samuel hasn't been the same since he made that first-team All-Pro back in 2021. He's been injured a lot. He hasn't really been the same guy since that year. So on paper, this is a fantastic move for DC because you struck gold with your quarterback on a rookie deal. This is what you're supposed to do when your quarterback is that good this early in his career before you have to sign him. You go and do what the Houston Texans did last year by getting Stephon Diggs for C.J. Stroud down in Houston. Now you bring in a guy like Deebo Samuel, a proven winner, as I said, former first-team All-Pro, to pair with Terry McLaurin to not only help you in the passing game for your young quarterback, but also help in the running game. Now you're asking Jaden Daniels to do less in the running game, and kind of be like more of a traditional quarterback. Now Jaden Daniels is nothing like traditional. He's something different, and as we saw, it's been highly successful. They just got to the NFC Championship for crying out loud. So you add Deebo Samuel to that mix. On paper, it looks really good. But are we sure that we're going to get that same Deebo Samuel that we've been used to seeing from 2021, 2022? I haven't seen it for the past couple of years, quite frankly. Last year, he did not look good. He dropped a lot of passes. When he was out there, he just didn't look the same. He couldn't really stay on the field. So a healthy Deebo Samuel is the question that I have right now. I know what he brings to the table in the football field when he's healthy. No doubt about it. But my question is, which Deebo Samuel are we going to get? And then on the 49ers side, I'm wondering if this is the beginning of the end for this core that they have, because I've been hearing that Brandon Ayuk is still on the trading block, even though the 49ers signed him to a big deal before he got injured. I'm hearing that he might still be on the trading block. You mentioned the defense. Darius Ward is likely not coming back. The secondary, which was really falling apart for San Francisco all through last season. You wonder, how many of those guys are coming back? What is Trent Williams going to look like coming off an injury? What is Christian McCaffrey going to look like coming off of his injuries that he was dealing with? George Kittle is starting to get older. You still got to do it. We still got to possibly wonder, are we going to pay Brock Purdy top quarterback money? Or are we going to have another Jimmy Garoppolo situation where we're going to just try to franchise tag him as long as we can and try to ride it out, and then maybe look again in the draft to see if we can find another gem at quarterback? So I'm wondering the state of the San Francisco 49ers for next season and the years to come, because I don't think they're done. I think Brandon Ayuk, there's a real possibility that he could be traded next. And are we sure about these young receivers that are coming? But great trade for both sides. I mean, at least for DC and the Commanders, but it's a real wait and see for me.
Yeah, no, I get your point about Deebo. He wasn't the same receiver last year, dropping passes. You can see the frustration building up. I think that was a combination of him not playing well, the team not doing what they wanted to do. They lost in the Super Bowl the year before. It's a such thing, and everyone knows, Super Bowl hangover. The 49ers definitely had that hangover. So
you don't get a hangover if you lost.
No. I'm saying, well, to me, you do get a hangover when you go to the game and you lose. It's harder to get back there than when you win, in my opinion, because you got all the way up to the mountaintop and then you lost. Look at the Eagles a couple years ago. They played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. They lost. And then the following year, they started 10-1, 10-2, and everybody said they were fraudulent. They lost in the first round of Tampa Bay at home. So I think it's harder to get to the Super Bowl and lose than it is to win, because if you win, you're trying to repeat. You're trying Kansas City situation this season. They were trying to go for 3. So it's easier to it's easier to win and try to get back to me than it is to be hard than it is to lose and try to get back.
I disagree. I disagree with you there. I think it's just hard. I think it's harder to win, man, and then get back there, especially after you win the Super Bowl, because that's where the hangover comes in. Like, you start to get a little complacent, like, oh, we'll be fine. We're going to do it again. So that complacency kind of comes into play, as opposed to if I lose in the championship, I think there's more motivation to get back as opposed to when you win. You may think that the team would be like hungry for another one right away, but we see it all the time in all sports. It's really freaking hard to win, because now you got a target on your back and everyone knows that you're coming, as opposed to a team that lost. We don't really know what to expect.
No, I understand your point. Let's go to the NBA for a second. When you look at the Spurs in 2013, they lost. Ray Allen hit the shot in Game 6. LeBron, D-Wade, they won Game 7. They won the championship, and the Spurs got back the following year to play Miami. So I understand that. You got the motivation, but most teams aren't like that. Like, most teams that lose in the Super Bowl, it's hard for them to get back. Just look at the NFL history. Do you lose the Super Bowl? Most of the times you don't make the playoffs the following year because of that hangover of losing. So for me, I pay attention to that, and I think it's harder when you lose than when you win. But getting back to Deebo, I just felt like I said, the team had a hangover. They had injuries. Trent Williams went out. Christian McCaffrey went out. So that would definitely affect the team. For me, I think it's a great trade for Washington. You get a good receiver a good that could be great receiver for a 5th round pick. To me, that's a steal. And also, he's going to be a piece along with Terry McLaurin, along with Zach Ertz. Hopefully, they draft another tight end. Get Brian Robinson. I like that running back, Austin Eckler. I like that running back room. So, and Jaden Daniels, accurate quarterback, can move. So it should lighten the load up for him as well. So I really love it for DC. San Francisco, this was already in the making. And I feel like they can draft well, and I feel like they'll do what they need to do to improve their roster and be playoff contenders in the 2025 NFL season. The next story is official. T. Higgins has received the franchise tag from the Cincinnati Bengals. Your thoughts on that?
Free T. That's my thought. Free T. This is like, if I'm T. Higgins, man, like, come on, man. A second franchise tag for me. I'm a bona fide number 1 receiver myself. Like, where's my deal? Where's my love? But this is typical of Cincinnati. People have called them, cheapinati, don't spend, whatever. Like, they don't take care of their guys. Like, if I'm T. Higgins, dude, I'm not stepping on the field until I get a new deal. Like, I understand. I love me some Jamar Chase. I love Joe Burrow. I love this team and all that. But the organization is not treating you like a number 1 receiver should be. There's no way that you're going to give me a second year on the franchise tag. If I'm T. Higgins, I'm still looking elsewhere. I'm not stepping on the field, and I'm taking calls from whoever in the league wants me. Again, the Patriots, the Commanders, who still have a lot of cap space. They can bring in T. Higgins as well with Deebo Samuel. Let's keep an eye on that. But this, to me, was a slap in the face of T. Higgins. And recently, a report actually just came out that the Bengals made an offer to Jamar Chase, but he turned it down, said it wasn't enough. So the sides remain far apart with that. So this offseason is going to be critical for the Cincinnati Bengals, because we just don't know how this is going to shake out. I mean, it looks like T. Higgins will probably be back to play for the Bengals this season, but if I'm him, I don't want to play on a second franchise tag. I want a deal. Like, I want to be valued as a number 1 receiver. And part of that might be a little biased by me being a Ravens fan. I don't want to keep seeing T. Higgins and Jamar Chase every year, even though we've dominated Joe Burrow in them. But I still don't want to see these guys every year. But yeah, T. Higgins to me is he deserves better than that. But I guess this is what he's tending to accept at the moment.
You weren't on the show when you were obviously a guest, but you weren't co-hosting the show. Obviously, that was Tim. And I said to Tim, the team that nobody wants to see in the playoffs, the AFC playoffs, was the Cincinnati Bengals. Kansas City didn't want to see him. Buffalo didn't want to see him. They didn't want to see him. They did not want to see them. So I definitely can understand your sentiments about your Ravens love and not wanting to see T. I think they had no choice, John. Like they had no choice. They had the franchise tag. They had you was either gonna franchise tag Trey Henderson, which is gonna be crazy, or you just franchise tag T Higgins. Jamar Chase still has 1 year left on his rookie deal. So yeah, they're gonna figure. I feel like they can figure that out. They have time for that. T Higgins and Trey Henderson, the pass rusher, is the most important because they're free. So you franchise tag T Higgins. You try to get a deal with Trey Henderson. The Bengals release guard Alex Kappa, saved them $8 million. So they have some money coming back in. So no one likes the franchise tag, but he's not playing for cheap. That's for damn certain. He's gonna get some money. So the Bengals had no choice. They really didn't. And I'm not surprised that they franchise tag T Higgins. They had already franchise tagged him a couple weeks ago. They just basically saying we can't get a deal done, so we'll just leave the franchise tag on you. So, by the way, the NFL new league year starts on March 12th. So you'll hear about stuff. There's the Deebo Samuel deal. The next topic that we'll get into, all these moves can't be official until March 12th. Our last NFL topic is Matthew Stafford and the Rams have agreed that they'll have a contract restructure and he'll stay in Los Angeles with the Rams. I love that move. The Rams gave the Eagles the best game during the playoff. You can make a case. Not make a case. Matthew Stafford had the ball with 2 minutes left with a chance to win the game. That's all you can ask for in a role playoff game with a chance to win the game. So with the ball, with a chance to win the game. I was big on this Ram team last year before the season started. I picked them to win the NFC West. So I think the Rams can definitely, obviously make roster adjustments, roster changes. I definitely think they can improve the roster and be even more contenders with that young defensive line and that young defense getting better this offseason and getting moving into next season. I think the Rams can be even better than what they were this year. They got the quarterback, they got the coach. And now they, just draft well, add on offense and defense and special teams. Again, they were in the NFC divisional playoff game last year against the Eagles and took them down to the wire. So shows you how talented the Rams really are.
Yeah, all it took was a snowstorm that really was the reason that the Rams couldn't win that game because they had, like you said, they had the ball with a chance to go win it, but it's like the offensive line kind of couldn't hold their ground with the weather conditions going on in Philadelphia, and Philly's defensive line just made a few more plays than the Rams did, and we talk about Philly's defensive line just really being the MVP of the Super Bowl, how they dominated Kansas City, but yeah, Stafford was never going anywhere in my opinion. This was like a real I'm flirting with the idea of going somewhere, but I'm not really leaving. It's
kind of hard for me to see him going to the Raiders or the Giants. They're not ready-made situations.
Yeah, it's like when you're dating somebody and like someone gives you a hall pass to go see what's out there and test the waters, but you're not really going nowhere. Like you're coming back. But it's that's the situation I saw with the Rams and Stafford. Like you really thought he was going to go to the Giants or like the Raiders? Like no way. Like he's staying in LA. This is the best situation for him. It's great. Best situation for the Rams. Like you said, much improved defensive line. Dare I say they look better without Aaron Donald, which is a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing I thought. But when you look at the numbers and how this defensive line had played, they were really getting after it. They surprised me by how good they were. And the secondary is only going to get better. I think they need to kind of like improve in the linebacker position for sure. But very decent offensive line. And you got Puka Nacua out there. You got DeMarcus Robinson, who's proved to be a really solid number 2 receiver, assuming that he's coming back. We all know that Cooper Kupp is on the move. The Rams are looking to trade him. So you imagine that Cooper Kupp can come back with some good assets for the Rams, whether it be like draft picks, maybe another player. But the most important thing is he's another cap casualty. So you're getting some relief there if you're the Rams too when it comes to the payroll. The Cowboys have been linked to Cooper Kupp recently, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I like this Rams team as constructed. I think they're going to continue to get better. They're paying a little bit for all how they mortgage the future to go get that Super Bowl back in 2021. But this is kind of what happens when you do that. But they're doing a great job of managing it, in my opinion, and they still have a chance to really contend in the NFC, in my opinion.
Yeah, the Rams. Remember all them years the Rams didn't have a first-round draft pick, so for them guys to be still contending and being in contention, that's definitely impressive. Shout out to GM Les Snead doing a hell of a job out there in Los Angeles with the Rams. Again, like I said, with no first-round pick for multiple years, that's kind of crazy that they're still contending. So, yeah, the Rams definitely, man, like we both said, they definitely are contenders. They definitely need to improve the roster. I thought last year, if Aaron Donald was on that roster, I would have picked them to go to the Super Bowl. That's how much I believed in them.
Absolutely, yeah.
How much I believed in them and believed in Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald, to me, was the best player in the NFL for multiple years. You couldn't stop him. You couldn't double him. You couldn't triple him. And if you did decide to do that, it freed up other guys. The year they won the Super Bowl, they had Leonard Floyd, Aaron Donald, and Von Miller. That's a hell of a pass rush. That is a hell of a pass rush. So
they cashed in.
Say it again.
So they cashed in because that line wasn't staying together for longer than the season, but they cashed in while they could. That's shout out to the GM for that. He went all in, put all the chips to the table.
Their definition of all in and Jerry Jones' definition of all in is two different definitions of all in. The Rams actually went all in, did what they had to do, and won that Super Bowl, and it's definitely still in contention. And I expect them to be major players next year in the NFC.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Highly Opinionated. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Highly Opinionated is sponsored by Wolves of War. In some of the episodes, you can see my co-host and Ross wearing a brand called Wolves of War. Wolves of War is our first sponsor, ladies and gentlemen, and we are so thankful to have those guys sponsoring Highly Opinionated. Thank you very much. The actual meaning of Wolves of War is that it represents having a strong path behind you through the battles of life. With the right people behind you, you can get through anything. You guys see the link for Wolves of War? Make sure you guys click on the link, shop, great apparels, t-shirts, sweatsuits, whatever you want, they have. Once again, Wolves of War. Make sure you guys go shop. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Highly Opinionated. It's that time, ladies and gentlemen, the best segment in sports. As you guys can see on your screen, let's talk about it. And this week's Let's Talk About It is a great topic. LeBron James, the floor is yours, sir. Take it away.
Fortunate, but I don't know why do you want to be the face of a league when all the people that that cover our game and talk about our game on a day-to-day basis on everybody. I mean that responsibility it's just weird. It's weird energy from the people that I don't know, but Channing he said it. He said it perfectly. Couldn't have said it no better. But Ant said he don't want it. Obviously I didn't ask for it, but I knew there was a responsibility for me, not only to my family, my friends, my community, and whoever that was going to follow my journey throughout my career.
Yes, sir. So they asked LeBron a question about being the face of the NBA, about being the face of the league. Should somebody want it? Should somebody not want it? So I'll start us off. I have so much to say. Ladies and gentlemen, before I start, I'm going to hit you with a quote. When you get criticized for something you believe in, it makes the belief all more valuable. Let me repeat that again. When you get criticized for something you believe in, it makes the belief all more valuable. LeBron James said that he didn't ask to be the face of the league. Ladies and gentlemen, take these glasses off. That is a lie. He signed a $90 million deal with Nike before he stepped foot in the NBA. Ladies and gentlemen, when he first came into the NBA, what number did he choose? At that point, who are you comparing yourself to? See, the problem I have with athletes in the media is that they lie. And then they tell y'all a lie. And no disrespect, a lot of y'all are followers. So you're going to follow what your favorite players say or what your favorite media member says, instead of thinking and doing your own research and just thinking this makes no sense. LeBron James, you're an all-time great player. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird had to take the mantle from Dr. J. Dr. J passed it to Magic and Bird. Magic and Bird passed it to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan passed it to Shaq and Kobe. Shaq and Kobe, to me, passed it to Duncan. Duncan passed it to LeBron. LeBron passed it to Durant. Durant passed it to Steph. That's my hierarchy of players that had power in the league. Sir, you asked for this. That comes with the territory. Is it right? No, it's not always right. And I agree with him. It is a lot of people who shit on the NBA product. But LeBron, the NBA product is shitty. So that's why you're going to shit on a product that's shitty. All y'all do is shoot threes. Literally all y'all do is run around the corner, run around the court and shoot threes. So there's no defense being played. I can show you a clip of defense in the 90s and defense now. The defense in the 90s is all heart and hustle. The defense now, pick and roll. the pick and roll, they allow the guy to go with they allow you to fall for the pick and roll instead of fighting over the pick. They just, okay, like Luka coming. I was watching the Lakers and the Clippers on Sunday night. All the Clippers did, okay, all right, all the Lakers did, let's do pick and roll. Let's get Zubac. Let's get James Harden. Instead of fighting over the screen, that's just how they play basketball now. They allow the screen to happen, and then you roll with your man, and then the guard is on the big, and that makes no sense. So LeBron James is a great player. Sir, no one asks you to be the face of the league. You take the face of the league. Nobody didn't ask you. Nobody didn't ask Kobe. Nobody didn't ask Duncan. Nobody didn't ask Shaq. Nobody didn't ask Jordan. You take being the face of the league. And being the face of the league, you get criticized. Look at every player who was the face of the league. Magic Johnson had won a championship in 1980. They lost to Bird in 84. They had articles out calling that man Tragic Magic. He had already won a championship. He was the finals MVP. They called the man tragic. Michael Jordan, before he won the championship, they said no shooting guard can lead a team to a championship. He had to fight over that stigma, or scoring guard, as they said. He had to fight over that to win the championship. Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant were getting swept out of the playoffs before Phil Jackson came to coach the Lakers. They were getting criticized. You have the most dominant player. You have a very skilled wing. Why are you not winning? Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan's probably the one superstar who really didn't face criticism like that. But the Spurs did go years. They went 7 years without winning the championship from 2007 to 2014. He didn't get criticized like a Kobe or LeBron, but he got criticized. LeBron, you got criticized for not winning in Cleveland. That's why you left. Same thing happened with Kevin Durant and OKC. That's why he went to Golden State. Sir, no one asks us to be the face of the league. You have to take being the face of the league. And when people put you on that pedestal, you're going to get criticized. Everyone in the NBA gets criticized, and all sports get criticized. So on face value, he has a point. But if you really know the game and understand how basketball works and how sports work, everyone gets criticized. That's how it is. My last point is this. Not even in the sports world. If you're a general manager at a job, right? Let's say you're a general manager of the restaurant. Guess what the employees are doing? John, not like Josh. When Josh was here, we could show up 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late. He didn't say anything. Now John writing us up. You are always going to be compared to someone else. That's just how it is in any profession. Doctor, nurses, sports announcers, analysts, sports, whatever. Like, you're always going to be prepared. You're always going to be compared to someone else. So, LeBron, let's put these back on. LeBron, you have a point on face value, but understanding sports, come on, man. That's not how that should be. You know better than that. You know damn well that being the face of the league, you get all the love, you get all the blame. Sir, you're the reason why Brian Windhorst has a job. You're the reason why Nick Wright is on FS1's First Things First. You're the reason. Because if you away, they're not on TV.
Okay. So first of all, I'm going to criticize LeBron James, so I want to make sure I show love first to all LeBron fans out there.
Gotcha.
He's one of the greatest players of all time. I don't have him over Michael Jordan, but he's one of the greatest of all time. He's the NBA's all-time leading scorer. He's an amazing player still at 40 years old. We've never seen anything like this from a 40-year-old player. He's playing great. Can I criticize him now?
Yes.
This generation of the NBA is so freaking sensitive. It's ridiculous. It is so freaking sensitive. I don't want to be the face of the league. Like, and LeBron's like, well, why would you? Because, like, you know, everyone's gonna be talking about me and saying bad things. Like, get over it. Who cares? I'm sorry that you're relevant enough to be talked about as being the face of a league that contains the greatest basketball players on earth. And you're over here over here like, oh, I don't want to be. Why would you want to be face of the league? Because once upon a time, being face of the league was an honor. It was valued. It was, hey, that's the guy. That's who we look up to. That's what the face of the league was to me when I was growing up, trying to do everything I could to possibly get to the NBA. It meant something to me. I'm sure it meant something to a lot of guys that grew up playing basketball with aspirations and dreams to hopefully one day play in the NBA. You're the face of that? Yeah, that means that's a That's a badge of, well, I guess it was a badge of honor. Oh, but no, because media has come up as the years have gone on. Now that social media is a thing now, and everyone has something to say about it. Now all of a sudden that takes value away from being the face of the league, because God forbid somebody says something bad about you or criticizes your game or your demeanor. God forbid if someone compares you to Michael Jordan, who a lot of people still think is the greatest player of all time. God forbid that. If you don't catch him, you're terrible. You're never going to be considered a great player if you don't pass the great Michael Jordan. It's a joke, bro. Like, I hate that this is even a topic, because, again, the face of the league once upon a time was a badge of honor. It's something that you wanted. You ain't never hear nobody say, like, why would you want it? Or I don't want it. No, you heard guys, I want that. Not anymore. Because a few no-names are saying stuff about you, about your game, and criticizing, newsflash, bro. It's better to be talked about than not being talked about. You could not be talked about at all. You could be in the NBA, nobody got anything to say about you. You think anybody's talking about freaking Mark Williams on Charlotte Hornets? He was talked about for a little bit because his name was brought up in a trade. But was anybody talking about him? No. LaMelo Ball's a really good player. Does anybody talk about him being face of the league? No. Charlotte sucks. Nobody talks about them. They're irrelevant.
Jordan Poole, Washington.
Jordan Poole in Washington. Remember when everyone was saying like he ought to be an all-star in Washington? Anybody talking about Jordan Poole these days? I went to a game the other night. Bro put up 40 points. Nobody cares because DC is trash.
D'Angelo Russell in Brooklyn. He was relevant. He was on the Lakers. Got traded to the Brooklyn Nets.
So LeBron, you're all up in arms, And again, you've been like this for years. Sensitive.
Yes, you
ever since you left Cleveland to go to Miami, everyone's got something to say about you. They hated you for a while, and you went ahead and made a commercial talking about I am not a role model, or I was hurt by the vitriol that was being spewed at me. You did a special, basically giving the giant middle finger to the city of Cleveland. I'm leaving you. You think people are just going to forget about that and think it's okay? No, bro, because you're good. That's why people care. Because you're good.
Not good. Great.
I'm sorry. Because you're great. You're one of the greatest of all time.
Yes.
That's why people care, bro.
Yes.
That's why we talk about and criticize Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards. We have criticized Steph Curry, believe it or not.
Yes,
we criticized him. My favorite player in the NBA history, Kobe Bryant. God rest his soul. He was criticized. When he was the face of the league, he had that situation going on in Colorado. Everybody absolutely crucified him.
Yes.
And every single night. Michael Jordan had the gambling situation going on. They criticized him every single night. Go ahead, Josh.
No, you're right. I was going to say with Kobe, also another criticism. He was up 3-1 on the Suns. Now, should the Lakers been up 3-1 on that Suns team? Hell no, but they were up 3-1 and you lost.
A 7-seed Los Angeles Lakers team was up on the 2-seed 3-1, and they lost it. You know who they blame? Kobe Bryant. They didn't care the Lakers had no business being up 3-1 on that team. No, because he was Kobe Bryant. He was great. You need to get the job done. When he lost to the Celtics, the blame went to Kobe Bryant because you Kobe Bryant, bro.
Yes, it did. Majority of the blame went to Kobe. Pau Gasol got some, but majority of it went to Kobe.
Pau Gasol did get some by Kevin Garnett. I remember that vividly, but the blame went right to Kobe Bryant because he's Kobe Bryant, bro. That's what that title means. This is LeBron James is in that category with Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan as three of the greatest players we've ever seen. Yes. Now the order is up to you. I know where I got them, but my thing is, my God, I'm sorry that we have to criticize you from time to time when you don't play well. We don't talk about your family. We don't talk about your life off the court. That's not our business, bro. Exactly. God forbid that we criticize your basketball game, the things you do for a living. If we say something bad about LeBron James's game or criticize little things in his game here, it's a crime. LeBron fans are just as bad as Beyonce fans and Dallas Cowboy fans. Can't say a word about them because then you'll get attacked.
Yes, you will.
It's so disrespectful that we don't have LeBron over Michael Jordan. It's disrespectful that he's the top 2 or number 3 player of all time. The disrespect is crazy.
For me, LeBron doesn't understand this can work the opposite way for him. He says that people shit on the product. Sir,
fix it.
Exactly. You can fix it. You can fix it by being more competitive. I'll say this. I watched that Redeem Team documentary, and LeBron had the most interesting comment of that whole documentary was when they was talking about they were going to play Spain. and Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol were Laker teammates, and Kobe said he was going to run through Pau Gasol's chest. And LeBron, like, you're not going to run through his chest. He's like, yeah, I'm going to run through his chest. This man LeBron said, I quote, we'll have one of these episodes, we'll have a topic about that so I can play the clip. But LeBron was like, I quote, I knew he was going to win when he ran through Pau Gasol's chest. Now, on the face value, that's a good teammate. That's a great teammate believing in his other teammate. But ladies and gentlemen, when you compare greatness, that's a separator. Like, you knew you were going to win the game because Kobe Bryant did something that had nothing to do with you. Like, it had nothing to do with putting the ball in the basket. It had nothing to do with you grabbing a rebound or an assist. He was going to run through Pau Gasol. That had nothing to do with you. So, also, let's go back to the 2012 All-Star game in Orlando. LeBron gets the ball, last second of the game, Kobe sticking him. He tries to pass the ball instead of shooting the shot. And Kobe, Melo, and D-Wade like, bro, shoot the ball. What are you doing? Shoot the ball, shoot the ball. Kobe walked up to him like, yo, shoot the ball. What are you doing? So those things in history with LeBron James, passive-aggressive, other things, like, for me, LeBron, listen, I think you're an all-time great. Now, you might have him ranked a little higher than I. I think he's a top 10 player. Now, do I think he's number one, number two, number three? I do not. I don't. So, again, that's just my opinion. But to sit here and say he's not one of the all-time greats, if he's not one of the all-time greatest to ever play, is crazy. But, sir, like, everyone that plays sports is in this bid. Patrick Mahomes gets compared to Tom Brady unrelentlessly. He embraces the challenge. He even says it, Tom. I'm chasing Tom.
That's what LeBron did with Michael Jordan. This man, you can find videos of this man saying, "I have no rivals. I'm chasing a ghost." What do you think you're talking about?
The man said he was in Cleveland the second time. I'm chasing the ghost of 23. Who the hell is 23? Who are you talking about? You're talking about Jordan. So, sir, you bought this on yourself. You were chasing the greatest. And most people don't.
And now that you're facing heat, now you want to have all this to say. And now, go ahead, man.
No, it's funny, because it's like you decided to chase greatness, and now most people don't think that you're better than him. Oh, well, man, who wants to be the face of the league? Because the only thing they're going to do is shit on you and tell you that you're not this and you're not that. And Shannon Fry, sir, I would love to debate you whatever day, whatever time, whatever place. I will pull up to the Road Trip and podcast. We can do it from my house, sir. Listen, if you want to sit here and tell me that 90s basketball wasn't all that, I'll agree with that. That's fine. But to sit here and make it seem like today's game with the heart and the effort as good as the 90s, you are out your damn mind. I don't know how much NBA TV is paying you, but they need to stop paying you because you are not being a truthful and honest analyst. Sir, you have average players to good players who be putting up crazy numbers. Austin Reeves, I am not the biggest fan of Austin Reeves. This man averaged damn near 20 points. You think Austin Reeves would average 20 points in the 80s and the 90s? Hell no. Hell no.
The standard
LaMelo Ball. His whirly-dirly, his shooting style, his basketball style, the way he plays the game. He wouldn't last in the 80s and the 90s. He'd go off all them finger rolls and all that. They'd lock his ass to the ground. So I'm just saying, you have average Norman Powell. I like Norman Powell. I think he's a very good player. Norman Powell is averaging 24 points, 25 points in today's NBA. Do you think Norman Powell averaged 25 points in the 80s and the 90s? I don't think so. Not unless he's on a super bad team. So, LeBron, you asked for this. So, come on, man. Now, again, being the face of the league is a badge of honor. You should want to be the face of the league. Steph Curry was the face of the league. They criticized him. He took it like a man. Kobe Bryant took it like a man. Shaq took it like a man. Jordan took it like a man. Magic and Bird took it like men. Dr. J. So, come on, man. Like, LeBron, you're better than this. You have you're an all-time great player. Come on, man. Be better than this. And set a better example for the younger generation that's following behind you, because that's the issue.
And the standard keeps getting rearranged now because it's not, the league was watered down when Michael Jordan was playing. Not that there's more skilled players today than it was back then. That might even be true, but it's not just about skill when it comes to basketball or any sport. What you got in here, bro? What you got up here? You can bring up stats all you want about LeBron and all that stuff, but there's a reason why I don't have him over Kobe and Mike still. It ain't about just the stats, bro. Exactly. It's about what you did in the final games and how you did it, bro. That's what people don't seem to understand. And you keep trying to convince me that it doesn't matter. LeBron is just better because of his stats. And it ain't all about stats, bro.
Yeah, it's not. LeBron James has had better teammates than Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. Y'all can talk about Shaq. That's
close.
fine.
It's not even close.
Kobe won 2 championships Kobe won 2 championships with not a top 75 player. That's a fact. Jordan can't say that. LeBron can't say that. So for me, like I said, I'm not here to rank them. But I will say I agree with your order. I have Jordan 1. If you have just ranking these 3 guys, I have Jordan 1, Kobe 2, LeBron 3. Just ranking these 3 guys. That's not my top 5 order, ladies and gentlemen. Again, just ranking these guys: Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. And I agree with you. It's about heart. It's about mentality. It's about passion. It's about will for the game. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody want to say it, so I'll say it. The All-Star game started getting bad. Why? Because of LeBron James. Not fully because of him, but this, let's be friends. Oh, man, let's compete. Let's compete in the All-Star game. And his generation started like, all right, let's slip up. And that passed on to the Anthony Edwards. The only person in this new generation that wanted to compete was Victor Wembanyama. He said, man, I'm ready to hoop. Let's hoop.
And the young cats from the Rising Stars when they went
Rising Stars, yeah, because
they wanted to get them.
Exactly.
They didn't see them. They saw them as these guys are probably these kids' heroes growing up. Mm-hmm. But they stepped on the court and said, look, man, I admire you and I think you're one of the greatest. But I'm coming to win. I want to embarrass you. That's what we're missing. It's the competition part. All this we can hug and kiss after the game. You're on the court. You're my enemy. I want to kill you. That's what we're missing.
Kobe gave Jordan 56.
He was looking for him. That was his freaking idol and his hero. He was looking for him. He wanted. Come on, man.
When Kobe last season, he was looking for the best matchups. He wanted LeBron. He stuck LeBron his last year in LA when they played against Cleveland. He stuck the Melos, the Kyries, etc. So, like, for me, again, I'm just big on competitiveness. That's why I'm a big fan of March Madness with college basketball, because you getting everybody's best shot from now until
you get one chance. There's no series.
You get one chance. You get one chance. Look, do it like this: conference tournament, one chance; NCAA tournament, one chance. So you have to compete in March in college basketball. You have to compete. If you don't, you will lose. So LeBron, be better than this, bro. You're an all-time great. We bless you with the flowers. You're an all-time great player. You can do everything. Your longevity is amazing. What you're doing with the Lakers, you're the number 2 seed in the West. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, they're making me look wrong. I still don't think they're contenders, but they're the number 2 seed in the West. I can't tell a lie. They're playing very well. They're playing some of that best basketball of the season. LeBron,
you want the love. We'll get ready for the criticism too. That's part of sports, man. That means that you're great. Exactly. If you weren't great, no one would care. They wouldn't say a word about you. But because you're getting the hate along with the love, you're pissed about it. That's the way it goes. If you don't want it, retire.
Yeah, you're 40 years old. You could retire. Exactly. So again, man, you're an all-time great. Do better. Take the good with the bad, take the bad with the good. Because if the Lakers win, they're gonna be shouting out Luka, but they damn sure gonna be shouting you out too. And you know that. Ladies and gentlemen, you watching Highly Opinionated. Take a quick break. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Highly Opinionated is brought to you by Edibly Airy. Enjoy the heightened experience of THC edibles in a whole new way. At Edibly Airy, our freeze-dry edibles available in 100 milligram, 200 milligram, 300 milligram, 400 milligram will give you the buzz you crave with a flavor you won't forget. Available in 3 different flavors: watermelon sunset, tropical fruit, and very berry. To place orders, please visit the website at ediblyairy.com. While you're there at ediblyairy.com, use a promotion code. You guys see the promotion code on the screen. $ Highly Airy, $. Again, $ Highly Airy, $ for 20% off your first purchase. Follow us on IG at Edibly Airy for new product releases and monthly hookups. Must be 21 and over to purchase. Edibly Airy, the best freeze-dry edibles out. Go shop. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Highly Opinionated, the best addition to the show, other than the great co-host Jon coming on to the show. We appreciate you, bro. But the best addition to the show is this guy right here, Dylan. The floor is yours, my brother. Take it away.
Josh, John, Adam, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Thank you again for having me. Let's do a little breakdown of 253 last week, talk about what happened. Great event. Didn't start out as a great event, but it ended pretty well. Prelims, first 4 fights, I was getting a little snoozy going on. Big boys came in, though, heavyweight, the last fight of the prelims, Mario Pinto versus Austin Lane. And wow, I did not know what was going to happen because both those heavyweights were slugging. Mario Pinto did get the KO, but I thought he was going to get KO'd by Austin Lane. They were slugging. And the big boys, after a little bit, they ain't got that much energy after round 1 if they're just slugging the whole time. But holy cow, them boys came at it. And Mario Pinto threw it down for the last fight in the prelims and got me back into it and excited for the main card. Main card breakdown. Yep, Sam Patterson with the KO to start it off also. Walk-off. My guy hit hard, and that's what he was doing. Started out grappling a little bit, but then boys threw down, and Sam Patterson took the W. Watch out for that guy. He's on the come-up in the welterweight division. Look out. Next fight, split decision. Not a fan of the next 2. Come on, guys. Split decision in the main card. What are y'all doing? The next 2 fights, I didn't understand it. If you're going to do it, go out and bang. Gomez and Emil, that was actually a great fight, and both them boys threw pretty hard, but I think that Emil definitely could have taken that. He felt fresher in the 3rd round, looked good. He was still throwing hard. Both were grappling, but they'll probably run something back. The featherweight division's also stacked, so they may run it back. They should, because that was a great fight. Right after them, another split decision from Nazarat and Esteban. Come on, guys. Both those guys are crazy. Both them guys slug. I don't know what to say, but 3 rounds slugging still crazy. But then, boys, y'all need a finish. If you're on the if you're on the main card of a fight night and you're doing something, you better try and get a win. Split decision ain't cutting it for either of you guys. You guys got to get ranked soon and get up there, or what? Slug harder next time, guys. But my guy Cody Brundage brought it back with a first-round TKO in less than 5 minutes, and that guy was throwing. Didn't look like he was going to get the KO in the first round. There was a little bit of grappling going on, but once Julian Marquez felt the power of Cody Brundage, he ain't like it. And 4 minutes in, he had him on the back pedal. Cody was throwing. Cody wanted, I believe it was his last fight on his contract, but I don't think anymore if that was true because he is definitely coming back to the UFC and fighting some more. The middleweight division definitely stacked, but Cody Brundage, whoo, told you, keep an eye out for him. He got that KO in less than 5, so that's my guy. Keep an eye out. Main event, Manel Kape versus Asu. Crazy fight. Called it, though. Manel Kape don't play around. He wants a title fight. He wants the welterweight. He's coming for, I believe he's coming for Alexander Pantoja after his next fight if he keeps the belt. Pantoja's last fight was crazy, but back to Manel Kape. He's definitely not playing when it comes to it. His hands are quick. He don't want to be on the ground, but he will. But that guy is crazy, and he got a KO in round 3, and he walked him down, and he knew he was going to get it. After I believe it was a left hook he hit him with in the end, he knew he was going to walk him down. He's too quick. Uppercuts. Can't stop Manel Kape. Ranked number 6 as of then. We'll see what he comes out next week, his rankings. But he definitely should go up. Title fight coming for him soon, if not his next fight, because insane. All right, guys. That's my breakdown for that. Let's talk about 313 next week. Tune in, guys, okay? We'll talk about We'll talk about Pereira in a second. Crazy that Dan Hooker broke his wrist, I heard. Had to go out prior to fighting Justin Gaethje in the co-main event of that night. Now you got Rafael Fiziev stepping in that Justin Gaethje already beat once, but both crazy fighters. Insane card coming up on that one. Alex Pereira, of course, he's going to take that one for us. Main event. Don't know what you're going to think about that. What do you think? Going on a run in the middle, light heavyweight division, middleweight, ran it all up on everybody. Don't know what to do about him. Talk about the prelims, though. Banging fights on that. Curtis Blaze, he's going to end it for us. My guy, Curtis Blaze fighting Kneve. Heavyweights, bangers. This guy's not ranked. Curtis Blaze, been ranked. You ain't stopping him. I believe he won his last 2, maybe. He wants this. Curtis Blaze is going to take that in the prelims. Joshua Van versus Rye. Banging fight also. Van, quick guy. Rye, quick guy also. Prelims are stacked on this 313, guys. All of them. Morano versus Leal starting the prelims all for you. Both crazy heavy hitters also, quick in the welterweight. Love that one. Bruno Ferreira versus Arman right after that in the middleweight again, or a middleweight fight on that one. Come on, guys. 313 is stacked. Main card. Starting out with King Green versus Mauriciano Ruffy. King Green lost his last one. Don't count him out for that one, though. He is still a crazy, fast, hands-down heavy hitter. Not a fan of his style, but he is definitely known to always show up and impress and put on a show, and I think that's what he's going to do. I'm going to take King Green in that win to start the prelims. Women's strawweight right after that. Amanda Lemos versus Lucindo. Number 5 versus number 7. I know Amanda Lemos throws down. She's quick. She's ready to go. Always loves to fight. Lucindo, number 7, she is also throwing down, ready to fight. Her last fight, she is coming off a win on her last fight. I love that for her. Let's see if Lemos, I believe, is also coming off a win. She is not. Ooh, she is still hungry, though, wants it. She is going to get it. I'm going to take Lemos in that one. Jalen Turner versus Ignacio next on the third fight in on that main card. Jalen Turner coming off a loss versus Moicano. Moicano throws down, though, but I ain't counting Jalen Turner out on that one. He is definitely going to throw something. Ignacio coming off a win. That's a hard one on that one. I'm going to go with Ignacio in that third fight on the main card. Heavy hitter. He's quick, too. I like his style. So let's go Ignacio on that one. Co-main event, Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. Justin Gaethje used to be the BMF, the baddest mother. Unfortunately, lost that, but I still consider him probably the one of the baddest mofos in the game. Probably a legend to ever do it in the game. Heavy hitter, number 3 in the lightweight versus Rafael Fiziev, number 11. Gaethje already threw him down once back within a year ago. Showed him what was up. Showed him welcome to the lightweight division. But as of Dan Hooker breaking his wrist within this past week and has subbed out. So Rafael is taking this one short notice, and he says he'll make weight. So this co-main event on UFC 313 lightweight between Justin Gaethje and Rafael Fiziev is going to be a crazy, almost BMF title fight. So I'm going to take Gaethje on that one. I'm not counting him out after his last knockout. He got knocked out, but I ain't counting him out. He is one of my favorites in the UFC. So Justin Gaethje, I'll take him in the co-main event. Knockout, I'll call it. Main event, Alex Pereira, Magomed Ankalaev. Pereira hasn't been stopped. One person to beat him in the UFC. I think he's maybe got 11 fights in the UFC, and his one loss is, I believe, is the Israel Adesanya for the title. So this is going to be a crazy fight. Ankalaev is one crazy guy also, and he loves to fight. I believe he's maybe on a win streak right now also. He's won his last fight over Rocket last fight, so I don't know. But I know Alex Pereira is not playing around when it comes to the title and continuing a win and a streak. Scary dude. One of the scariest to ever do it in the lightweight division. They're talking about taking him up to heavyweight and fight John Jones for the heavyweight title. Nobody's ever been a 3-time champ in the UFC. Holding one belt, beating Izzy, holding the next belt in the lightweight division, then going up to heavyweight. Wouldn't know what to do, but I'm going to take Alex Pereira in the main event at UFC 313. So that's my breakdown for 313, guys. Now we can talk about this crazy Tank Roach fight that went on Saturday night. Majority draw, but after not watching Lamont ever fight, really, just some highlight reels here and there, I'm doing agree with everybody who said anything about it. I think they should run that back. Both them boys are quick. Lamont has a head on him, too. He was taking some hits. He took some body shots, uppercuts, and so did Tank, of course. They both really, really had some good hits, good throws. A great fight from both. I do think they should run that back, though. I'd love to see it. Same scenario. Both of them are going to be throwing that many punches. Probably 12 rounds again. I don't know. We all love Tank from Baltimore, but Lamont definitely showed out that night. But I definitely think they should run that back. I hope they do. I definitely want Tank to get that win. Well, all right, guys. Thank you. I'm so excited for 313. I hope everybody tunes in. We will catch you next week. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Dylan. You're the best, brother. Can't wait to have you back on the show very, very soon, my guy. John and I, we're going to get into Dylan's lane a little bit. We have our own reactions to the Tank versus Roach fight. Ladies and gentlemen, I know they said there was a draw, but I thought Roach was the more aggressive fighter. I thought Roach To me, I thought Roach won the fight. I thought he was the more aggressive fighter, especially from round 7 to round 12. I thought he was the more aggressive. He got shots on Tank that most boxers wouldn't get on Tank. I felt like that helped. I felt like by Roach used to spar with Tank, used to practice against each other. And I felt like that definitely helped him. I felt like Roach understood what he could take from Tank and what he couldn't take from Tank. What I mean by that is what he could dish out and what he didn't want to have happen to him. I felt like he understood that by getting hit in the face and stuff like that, jerking, moving around, playing different angles. So hopefully these guys fight again. But I thought Roach, I didn't think it was a draw. I thought Roach won that fight on Saturday night. Your thoughts, my brother?
I agree with you. I thought Roach should have won this fight, but I think politics came into play here because neither boxer won in a knockout. I think politics came into play. Well, we can't give Tank his first loss, not like this. Exactly. So I thought the scorecard was a little bit like, let's make it close. And then if we can't figure it out in the last round, let's make it a draw because you can't, unless it's so freaking obvious that he lost, we can't give Tank that loss. But I felt like Roach won the fight. He was way more efficient. He was smart. Tank just at times it looked like he was kind of like just being a little too chill, a little too like tactical. Like I remember Floyd Mayweather was kind of the same way. He'd be real tactical. Like, he wouldn't knock you out, but he would land a punch here, and kind of mess with you a little bit for 12 rounds. And then you look at the scorecard, Floyd dominated the fight. I think Tank took that approach, but to no avail because Roach was ready. And
yeah,
it was just really I was shocked. I still was a little shocked that it ended in a draw because nobody wants to see a fight like that end in a draw. And I was out watching it, and the atmosphere was just real. Like, I'm in Baltimore, so obviously everybody's pulling for Tank. Everybody was kind of pissed about it because I'm looking around like, y'all lucky that this man didn't get called for a loss. I know y'all pissed about the draw. Yeah, he got hit a couple times. So I'm looking around like,
he said he had grease in his eye.
Yeah, so I think it's just he should be lucky it wasn't an L, but I don't think it should have been a draw. I think Roach should have won that fight.
Yes, I think Roach earned some respect. Shout out to Roach. Shout out to Tank and Roach for putting on a good fight because I thought it was a good fight. But yeah. I thought the winner should have been Roach. Hopefully, like I said before, those guys have a rematch. And they got
to have a rematch. There's no way.
Got to have that rematch. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end the show like we always do with college basketball. This week in college, these next few weeks in college basketball, ladies and gentlemen, it's literally, I know they say feast week is in November. This is feast week for you. You have majority every conference tournament, as you guys can see on the screen. You have majority every conference tournament starting this week or next week. The college basketball season, regular season, will end next Sunday, a week from Sunday. You will have your Big Ten champion that day. You will have your SEC champion that day. Again, further down the line, a week and a half, a week from Sunday. But these games this week, you have the ASUN tournament starting this week. You have the Sun Belt starting, the Patriot League starting, Horizon starting. You have the WCC starting, the MVC, the Missouri Valley Conference starting. You have the Big South, CAA, SoCon, OVC, Sun Belt. You name it. The smaller conferences this week have their conference tournament. The big conference have their tournaments next week. John, what college basketball games this week are catching your attention?
Well, this week I'm highlighting, the top two conferences in the country, in my opinion, the Big Ten and the SEC. SEC being number one, in my opinion. We got a few great matchups starting on Wednesday. Actually, we got the Terps, Maryland, ranked 13th, going on the road to Ann Arbor against the Michigan Wolverines. Maryland coming off a good win against Penn State, my old school, but also really shaking off a tough loss against Michigan State. I mean, the kid just made guy Holloway, I think his name is, just made an unbelievable half-court heave. The guy didn't really make a shot all game long, but he played tremendous defense, I thought, on Gillespie, the Terps point guard there. But just unbelievable shot. You can't really say much about it. It's a tough way to lose at home, but shout out to Maryland for really bouncing back, and getting a win against a Penn State team where the Terps there was their first win at Penn State in 10 years. And ironically, that was my team. That was the last team that went to Bryce Jordan Center to get that last road win at Penn State. So interesting nugget there. We're talking about 10 years, but good for them to bounce back. They got another opportunity on the road against a really good Michigan team. They got to continue to climb the standings in the Big Ten before the Big Ten tournament comes around. Because as we know, the top 4 seeds get that double bye, and that can be huge, for rest and, just for preparation. Another game I have here, we got number 5 Florida on the road at number 7 Alabama. Alabama's coming off a couple of tough losses. They're another team that needs to bounce back, in the SEC, as tournament play comes around. So looking forward to that one. A sneaky game that could be better than people realize. Number 4 Tennessee going on the road to unranked Ole Miss. This is an Ole Miss team that played the likes of Auburn really tough down to the wire, and they're capable of pulling off an upset. And where they are in the tournament field, I think they're due for one good upset. They got a couple of ranked teams coming in along with Tennessee, so I think Ole Miss is going to be due for an upset in the near future here. It could come Wednesday night, or it could come in their next game. Fast forward into Saturday, another big game I see again from the SEC. Alabama goes on the road to Auburn with a chance to avenge that earlier loss they took at home to Auburn. So definitely looking forward to that rematch as well.
Yeah, great week of college basketball. Last week of the regular season for the major conferences. Love the games that you spotlighted. I'll spotlight a few games on Saturday as well. Let me give a shout out to Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino, you are doing a hell of a job. St. John's won the Big East regular season championship outright. Congratulations to them. By the way, whenever Rick Pitino wear that all white suit, book it. They are going to win. You should just wear that for the whole NCAA. Like when you wear that white suit, it is over. Kiss of death. You are not winning. Man, listen. If they play Duke, don't wear that white suit, Rick. Burn it. Don't wear it if y'all play Duke this year. Do not wear it because we're gonna lose. I'm just being honest with you. Shout out to Rick Pitino, man. Old school coach in this NIL. Let's give that man some credit, y'all. Let's give that man some credit. There's some young guys who can't handle this NIL situation. Rick Pitino is adapting. He's adjusting. He's doing what you should do in life. Adapt, adjust. Change to your environment. Change to your surroundings. Great job by Rick Pitino. Our SEC game on Saturday, number 19, Kentucky, number 15, Missouri. These, like you said, bro, the SEC is the best conference. It's not a day that doesn't go by where I'm not watching an SEC basketball game. Majority of these teams are very, very good. They have to, and they're in the deepest basketball conference I've ever seen. Think about it like this. Arkansas lost. Arkansas has a big game this week against Vanderbilt. Big game this week against Vanderbilt. So, again, teams like that in the SEC, Vandy is making their way and playing well in the SEC. Georgia, teams like that. Georgia got a big win last week against Florida. So the SEC is the best conference by far. And every day, every game is a knockdown bloodbath between whatever SEC team you want to play, other than male South Carolina. They're not good this year. But the rest of the teams are average to being good. The last game I'll touch on this week is obviously the rivalry. Duke and Carolina on Saturday at 6:30 on ESPN. The rivalry, Duke is the better team. Duke should win. Hopefully we sweep these guys. But if North Carolina wants to make the tournament, they need to beat Duke. They only have one quad one win on the season. If they can beat Duke, that would go a long way for them to get into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, they're in desperation mode. If you don't get this win against Duke, it's basically over unless you make a miraculous run in the ACC tournament and maybe get to the championship round. But if you don't get this win against Duke here, your season's basically done in my opinion.
Yeah, and you have to, and yeah, they could win the ACC, but at some point in time, they have to beat Duke because they're going to have to play Duke in the ACC tournament at some point in time, whether it's a semifinal or the final. So they're going to have to beat Duke at some point in time. But yeah, the rivalry, it never fails, never disappoints. College game, they got a little criticism for going to that game instead of going to Auburn, Alabama. So I get it. Like, North Carolina's not as sexy as it is, but rivalries are always going to be rivalries. The Ravens could be down, the Steelers could be down, it's still going to be a good game. The Cowboys and the Eagles could still be down, it's still going to be a good game. So the rivalry is always going to supersede. That rivalry will always supersede any rivalry in college basketball. So I'm looking forward.
I was going to say the Iron Bowl is a real thing. That's a hell of a rivalry, as we know. And
exactly in football, yeah. So
I remember personally, yeah. I mean, personally, look, basketball has arrived here in the SEC, and the Iron Bowl is still a thing. So I do share that criticism a little bit about choosing to go to Duke, Carolina versus Auburn and Alabama. But I hear your point. Historically, Duke, Carolina in basketball, much more rich history as opposed to Alabama and Auburn basketball.
I'll say this before we get out of here. Michigan in football was down this year. Yep. Fox, if you put that, so that was a Big Ten game. So it's only four networks could have had that Michigan-Ohio State football game. Fox, CBS, NBC, and the Big Ten Network. The Big Ten Network will never have Michigan-Ohio State football. They will just be that network that show the reruns of the game. If you put that game out, I bet you all three networks wanted that game just because of it's the game. You get what I'm saying? Michigan wasn't Michigan, but they were still solid enough where though you could support the game and you can say, okay, this is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. So I agree with you. They should have went to Auburn, Alabama. But again, the rivalry never failed. So I get why they went to Duke, Carolina.
Yeah,
Big
and
game.
Ohio State can't beat Michigan anyway, so you might as well keep showing it.
Yeah, they might. Yeah, they can't. They won a championship. Congratulations, Ohio State. The Ohio State, y'all won that national championship in football.
You still can't beat Michigan. Good for you. You still can't beat Michigan.
But hopefully next year, y'all can find a way to beat Michigan. By the way, that game will be at Michigan. Can't wait for that. I can tell you right now that game will be on Fox. I can tell you that right now. They're not. They will never get rid of that game, no matter what happens. So, great games. Great week of college basketball with the lower tier tournament starting up, lower tier conferences, ASUN, SoCon, stuff like that, Summit, and great week of college basketball with the conference tournament starting up, like I just said, and then next week the main tournaments, Big East, ACC, Big 12, SEC will have their conference tournaments. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for watching episode 28 of Highly Opinionated. For the best producer in the game, Ross, the best co-host in the game, John, I'm merely Josh. We'll see you guys next week. We are out.